Here we go. Recording. Recording. Hi, everybody. This is Sharona, and welcome to another episode of Conversations That Matter Most. And of course, I'm here with my lovely and awesome co-host and co-facilitator and awesome coach. Yay for Claudette. Welcome, Claudette.
Thank you, Sharona. Thank you. And let me say the same for you. I mean, I'm like this because I'm with you. There you go.
Thank you. Of course, I'm not going to put any more pressure on myself, but thank you. And welcome, everybody. And for those who are new, just a little, get you into the fold of things. Over a year ago, Claudette and I met. I don't even remember the details because I don't go into details, but we met and we realized we were having these conversations, and then we came up with this brilliant idea of doing these for our clients and our customers and participants. And Claudette is known as the stepmom coach, and she is totally awesome. And then I'm the midlife women dancing with change specialist. So Claudette, you want to just share a little bit about who you are and what you do and or don't do, or what trouble you cause, or anything like that?
Yeah, it caused a lot of trouble. So basically, what I do is I help stepmoms and stepdads deal with issues that pertain to being a step-parent. That means dealing with stepkids, discipline, dealing with the transitions of coming together as a step-family. So from whatever issues that come along. I've been a stepmom myself for 27 years. I was thinking about this today. It was like, wow, 27 years. Wow. That's like pretty awesome that I'm with my best friend. And, like today, he's my best friend. I love my husband to bits. It wasn't always this way. There were times where we struggled deeply, and we weren't even sure if we were going to make it at some point, but I'm glad we stuck it around, and I'm very, very happy with where we are. And so basically, I really help stepmoms go from surviving to thriving in their relationship so that you can enjoy being together and creating a strong and healthy family. So what about you, Sharona? I know you're the midlife woman dancing with change specialist. So let us hear how you help us midlife women be happier and dance with the change.
Well, thanks, Claudette. You know, it's interesting as you were talking, I realized one of the things is I'm not a stepmom. I'm not in a relationship. And yet, as a midlife woman, I still have to go through all kinds of changes. And one of the things that I'm leaning into now is that wonderful thing about the emotional impact of dealing with change, especially for women during midlife, because we go through all kinds of emotional upheavals besides what's going on around us externally, but what's happening internally. And one of the things that I'm starting to work with is that midlife depression that happens with midlife women. And I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, but what I am is someone who moves through that emotional impact and learning how our emotions can actually bring wisdom to us as we move forward into our lives. So for me, it's all about dealing with change, the emotional impact, and how to thrive wholeheartedly in body, mind, and spirit. Um, Even though there are some days, and I'm sure there are midlife women who deal with it, there are some times where you just feel like you're stuck in the muck and mire and you lost your mojo. And I'm here to help find, reclaim our mojo and get our moxie back. So that's what I'm about. And so today, speaking of the stress and the emotional impact, one of the things that Claudette and I were talking about is, I have one of those lovely things called insomnia, and it's that 3 a.m. call. Claudette, I think we were talking about that you have that too.
It happens, yes, where you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, sleep already, come on, sleep, sleep, sleep. Or you're saying to yourself, relax, 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 relax. And the more you're saying sleep, 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 or relax, you're getting tense. I mean, I'm getting tense just saying it, right? I'm going, relax, relax.
Right, and that's what we came up with this week for our episode on Conversations That Matter Most. Relax already. Because and you know what? I try all kinds of things to help me relax in the middle of the night, but it's just sometimes it doesn't work. So today I thought we could have a conversation about some kind of strategies and tips or things that may work. And again, every woman is unique. And so that what may work for me and might not work for Claudette or anybody else, but this is some of the things that I have found that may help us deal with I'm calling it the 3 a.m. wake-up call.
And I would just want to add that, what worked for you once may not work for you at a later time, or it may have worked once, it didn't work the next time, it may work another time. So the thing is, and that's what's so annoying sometimes, is that, the strategies will work not all the time. They'll work part of the time, and for some people, they'll work all the time. But it's not, we're complicated people, right?
Right. And I think the other thing too is one of the things is, as I'm working with my well-being team, that's what I'm going to call them, levels of stress will change what works and what doesn't work. And so what was working all these years suddenly about 3 months ago stopped. And I am now in the exploration of trying to figure out what is working now. So one of the things I do know for a fact that doesn't work for me is like chamomile tea doesn't work for me. Melatonin doesn't work for me. No matter what, it doesn't do anything. But what I think I just shared this with you, Claudette. There was something I found. It's an app. It's free. It's called Calm in the Storm, and it's actually for people. Was created by people in the behavioral health world to help people reduce stress. And there's all kinds of things in there. So that's a little thing that I started working with. And then the other thing is, I know for me, I have to at like an hour before I get ready for bed, I cannot have the TV on. I have to let go of all that stimulation and quietly get quietly get into bed, right? So that we're right. So what about you, Claudette? What are some things that some strategies or tips that you deal with besides screaming, relax already to ourselves?
So several things that have worked very well for me is there is a tea that I like to drink. It's called celestial teas, and it's sleepy time. And although, like, for years I thought I was very skeptic, I'm like, really, that tea works well. But sometimes I have to drink several cups of it, and then you go to a bathroom and pee all night because you drink too much tea. So that doesn't work either. But one thing that has worked very well consistently is lavender oil for us. And one of the stories behind this was when my husband had his cancer and he was on painkillers. Unfortunately, the painkillers he was on kept him awake. He couldn't sleep because of the painkillers. And so when we had gone to the doctor wanted to give him sleeping pills. I said, so you're giving him pain medicine that's keeping him awake, and now you're going to give him more medicine to make him sleep, and then there's going to be more problems. I said, no, let's just try something different here. So I told him about lavender oil, and my husband said, yeah, it doesn't work. So this is why I like this kind of thing. It's because you don't need to believe it, and it works. And so we did this, and within 5 minutes, he was sleeping like a baby. And so for the last 10 years, whenever he can't sleep, I just put a drop of lavender oil on his pillowcase or on his pulse points on this, and around behind his ears here, and he falls asleep within 5 minutes. So, but that works well for him. And again, it's more about the quality of the essential oil. So I think that's also important, to make sure that it's good quality. And the other thing that I love is taking a nice warm bath. So it's similar to what you do, Sharona, right? You're shutting the TV off before going to bed. Well, for me, it's taking a nice long bath with my essential oils, my book, as long as it's not a drama book where it keeps you awake all night. So those are the type of things that have worked well and continue to work well for me in the years.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there was times that I used sleepy time tea, and there was times that I've tried all kinds of teas. But the issue is, as I'm moving into a more mature stage of my life, I noticed that it does keep me up going to the bathroom, and so I have to then figure out how to get back to sleep. And so it was interesting because I was talking to a doctor trying to find if there's some medication I could get prescribed. And it was interesting because she was talking about what they call the sleep structure. And it was fascinating because she said certain things out there, I guess there's a couple things out there for sleeping, but what they do is they affect the same center of the brain that affects alcohol, that is affected by alcohol. So yes, you get knocked out, but it disrupts the sleep structure. So, which is that you go down deep, and then you come up and you have your REM, and then you go down deep and you have, well, with the alcohol, or like people take alcohol or these medications, you kind of go down deep, but you don't have the REM, where you need the REM and the dreaming to help. So what happens is, over time, it affects your emotional stability. It affects, you get dependent on those things. So as she was talking, I'm going, yes, but I still need something to knock me out. Because every once in a while, after 4 or 5 days of not sleeping, I need some. But so we're experimenting with certain things. But I realized for me is having recently a lot of anxiety in my life and a lot of stress in my life, I need to find ways to calm down. So what I realized for me, instead of drinking it, is sometimes doing it in capsule form. And one of the ones that I found was valerian. And then valerian is a nice one. I found one that actually had valerian and hops in it and just relaxes. And then another one that I like is what they call kava. and it's like helps relax the muscles. So there's certain things, and I think one of the things is, and I liked what you said at the beginning, what worked in the past may not work now, or it might not work exactly the same way. So what I think part of my strategy is having all kinds of different things in the toolbox. So if
Yep.
this isn't working tonight, maybe I can add this to it and try. And it's a constant experiment. It's an ongoing experiment to find out what works. So I think one of the things I want to say out to our viewers is find different things, because I don't take things every night, but I need many
A
different
mixture.
yeah, I need many different things.
Yeah. So like for one thing, one of the things that helps me to relax is I have a mantra. And this mantra works for me like I don't know why, but it's like it really calms me down. And it's while I was doing Kundalini yoga and during our meditation stage, and it's called and the mantra is Sat Nam. And so
Sat Nam?
Sat Nam. And in meditation, especially in Kundalini yoga, it's the vibrational sounds that it's creating in your head that is making that sound. And so that and gong music. I have an audio of some gong music from my Kundalini yoga days, and that I tell you, I have never been able to listen to the end of that CD. I have no idea how it ends because I fall asleep like halfway through. So it's like I have no, like, it's 30 or 40 minutes long, somewhere around there. I'm not even sure how long it is. And I fall asleep before it ends. So it's like, if I can't fall asleep, I just need to put that on and I'm done.
Mm.
So it's almost like this one is like my hypnotic, heavy duty arsenal. Like if I can't sleep, this is the big guns to make me sleep.
Interesting. So gong music and Sat Nam. Okay, I might experiment with. I'll have to find some gong music. I know that for me, one of the things is there's another free app that I got. No, it was 99 cents. Okay, 99 cents. It's called Sleep Sounds. Again, something you can have. And what I like about it, you can tailor make, so they have like night and river and rain and all.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can put those sounds together. And recently I started an insomnia support group, and we're working on this form of meditation. And the way she describes it on the CD and the way it works, so far, and I don't want to say anything because, of course, in my head I'm going, I'm going to jinx it. But right. But it does the same. It's about 20 minutes, and it goes through this whole thing of visualizing and then going through this body scan. And I find it does, what I realize, even if I don't fall back to sleep, it just helps me relax. So I don't have to scream at myself, relax already. I am relaxing without, So, yeah, I think that's something. And I think one of the things I'm learning is I probably will not get my sleep back, my sleep pattern from before, because I've been dealing with insomnia now for, 12 years now in some form or another. But I realize that what I need to do is let go, for me personally, is let go of the anxiety of not sleeping.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And as you were talking, one of the things that came up for me was, a lot of the things that we're talking about in part is that we need to focus on something else rather than focusing that you can't be sleeping or you can't be relaxing or you're stressed out. So, I mean, we're talking about sleep and stuff like this, but it would be the same if you're stressed out or feeling anxious or you can't be relaxing. So when you're focused or you're only thinking about, I can't relax, I can't, shake this off, I'm feeling anxious, the more you focus on that, the more you become stressed out and the more you become anxious and the more you can't shake off that feeling. And so each of these things that we're talking about, whether it's the meditation, the music, taking a bath, reading, removing electronics, we're shifting our focus onto something else. Now, again, it doesn't mean it works all the time, and it doesn't mean that it works for everyone. But that is another way of looking at it, that if you can focus on something else, take your mind off of what's happening to you at this moment. And because a lot of times our brain are like going crazy, right? There's this little tape in our head going, relax already, I can't sleep, just sleep. So the more you're forcing something to happen, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and as you were talking, one of the things is it's about quieting the mind down, because the mind will continue to chatter, but we need to close it down. So one of the things is, I'm going to give a quick little thing that we could do. So there's something about putting your hands together and resting it on your sternum, and you just walk very, very slowly with your head down, looking down to the ground, and you just take a couple of steps. And what happens, it automatically, I don't know why, it's magic. That's why it's magic. It will calm everything down. So that's something you can do, is if a quick little thing, and you can just walk around the house or the bedroom or walk down the hallway right in the middle of the night, and it somehow quiets it down. The other thing that I find very also useful is just focusing on the breath. And I don't know, for me, it took a while to learn how to do that. Because right away, if I focus on my breath, I start forcing my breath in and out. I don't know anybody else. So what I do is I count. And somehow for me, counting relaxes me. Adding and subtracting does not relax me, but somehow counting. I think that has something to do with my dance background. So again, one of the ones they talk about is you count in 4 or 5 beats, whatever that is. You hold it for 4 or 5 beats. You let it go through your mouth for 4 or 5 beats, and then you hold it again. And that again will slow things down. And then, of course, as you were talking about, Claudette, it will give the inner meanie and the tape, or whatever you want to call that, something to do.
Yeah, exactly. And so as we're preparing to wrap up our call, what we wanted basically to share is that, there's a lot of different ways to relax and to help you sleep and deal with a lot of the issues that you're dealing with. And, part of, I think, what we want to share also is that what worked for you once may not necessarily work for you again. What worked for one person doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for you. And so it's a matter of, exploring and trying different things, being open to things you may not have tried before. Like when my husband tried the lavender and he said, that's not going to work. And falling asleep within 5 minutes, So you never know what's out there and what might help you.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, as we're beginning to close this episode, I think one of the things is remember that being human beings, we deal with things differently than other sanctioned beings on this planet, and especially in this Western culture, it's go 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 go, and we need to actually learn how to deal with the daily stresses of life because it can be a challenge. So here's something, Claudette, if there's a stepmom who's just stressed and overwhelmed and it's just feeling like I just can't do this alone anymore, I
Mm.
need some extra support, how can they get in touch with you?
So thank you, Sharona. So if you're a stepmom and you're dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety and you're wondering, how did I get myself into this mess and what can I do to make my life better? Give me a call or send me an email at Claudette@stepmomcoach.com. Visit my website, which is stepmomcoach.com, and there's plenty of resources there. There's actually several e-courses that you can look at and do that will help you with various issues that you're going through. And again, if you want to look me up on different social media, do hashtag stepmomcoach or hashtag stepmomwisdom. So what about you, Sharona? What if there's a midlife woman there and going, I can't deal with all this midlife change. What can I do? So how can they reach you and how can they get help with you?
Okay, so thanks, Claudette. So here's what you can do if you're a midlife woman and you're just saying, oh, this is just too much. I just need to sleep, relax already. And you're finding that you're struggling and the challenges are just overwhelming. So what you can do is you can reach me at Sharona at midlifewomendancingwithchange.com or www.midlifewomendancingwithchange.com. You can reach me also on social media with hashtag midlife women dancing with change, hashtag emotional wisdom, and hashtag thriving in the midst of midlife change. And there's a freebie on the website. It's a 6-part mini e-seminar talking about thriving in the midst of change. And if there's anything that I can help you with, I would love to talk with you. Also, for those who are watching today, and if you have some suggestion about how to relax or something that's worked for you, put it in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to our Conversations That Matter Most YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. And so find us, and we'll share information. And we like to, again, hear from all of you because, we're all in this together. So anything else you want to add before we close today, Claudette?
No, I think that we covered quite a bit. Again, we love these conversations. We share these with you because we're hoping that it'll make a difference in your life and that you benefit from it. And so make sure to listen to our past episodes and listen to what we had to share in the past. And we'd love to hear from you. So that's all I have to share for today, Sharona.
Thank you. And to all of you out there, thrive on, everyone. We'll see you next time on Conversations That Matter Most. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.